welcome to a more adult-orientated Battle of the Ports as we cover Giga's March 15th, 1994 shooter, Steam Hearts. Published by TGL, Steam Hearts was a very average shooter sprinkled with some erotic anime cutscenes, most of which, on the NEC PC98 original, I cannot show you uncensored. The story follows two siblings as they fight off a virus that is possessing the people in their world. How do they get rid of the virus? By making their friends climax, of course! There are 8 levels in total, as well as a single player and 2 player modes. The primary weapon of the player's ship can either be a Vulcan cannon or a laser. These shot types can be upgraded or swapped by picking up power-ups. The player can also choose from a variety of secondary weapons, which vary between the 3 versions of Steam Hearts, but include a fixed turret, flamethrowers, and satellite ships that hunt down enemies amongst others. The ship can also temporarily boost in any direction to dodge enemies or pick up items. Upon completing each stage, you will be awarded with some softcore to hardcore, hentai or porn cutscenes. Ah, so that's why we're bothering to play this one. The first port of Steam Hearts was to the PC Engine Super CD-ROM. This version features many improvements over the PC98 original. For a start, it now scrolls smoothly, has voice-acted cutscenes, and much nicer graphics. Unfortunately, the 2-player option is missing, and for fans of the dirty pictures, they've been toned down somewhat. Although the voice acting certainly lets you know what's going on. Talking of voice acting, in order to skip the in-game conversations that happen at the beginning of a level or prior to a boss fight, you need to press start twice, which is quite odd. Some conversation bits cannot be skipped though, and in these cases it's always good to get ready for a new boss phase with cheap, almost unavoidable surprise attacks. An interesting quirk of this version of Steam Hearts is that the weapon upgrade process keeps happening until very late in the game. That's why it's not really a good move to switch weapons at will, at the risk of reaching the final enemy without maxed out firepower. On the other hand, every single item you take gives you 1000 points, which actually amounts to a nice extra if you aim for the high score.
Power up. Funnel.
Sega Saturn was released on September 23rd, 1998. This version comes with a small yellow seal on the game cover, warning of the erotic content of the game. However, there are Saturn games that come with a red seal, which is for even more explicit content. Just like the PC Engine version, all the graphics were redrawn, but this version retains the cooperative mode and also includes more secondary weapons. The Saturn version also makes use of scaling and rotation effects supported by the hardware. Games like this with adult sexual themes were known as eroge in Japan. Ero basically means sex and ge meaning game. These eroge games were known for being more graphic on personal computers than consoles. So when the game was ported to the PC Engine and Saturn, the cutscenes were completely redrawn to be less graphic. The scenes on the Saturn are just the same as the PC Engine, with a few alterations that make the Saturn version the most censored. Still, this may be the most censored, but also the best version, as the actual shooting sections are a lot more fun and there's no annoying respawning at the beginning of the stage if you die on the boss.
Para 治療だ。
治療するから着てるものは脱いでね。
僕たちはエンブリオのみんなを救いたいんだ。
Power Missile. Calming Radio. Welcome. Laser.
And let's take a look at all those versions of Steam Hearts running side by side.